It's the summer of water, and we've got a lot to talk about, including 1.5 new brawlers. What? By the way, if you guys came here for the Octofang skin giveaway, make sure you guys subscribe and watch one of my future sneak peeks where I will actually be giving away 5 Octofang skins away for free. Let's jump into this. The next season pass is Deep Sea Brawl, and it's coming with a new underwater paintball arena that actually looks really cool, okay? We've got jellyfish walls, seaweed bushes, plus lots of cool underwater surroundings on the sides of the map, including this really creepy looking anglerfish. Plus, it's the home of our newest brawler, Otis. Now, Otis is the start of a new underwater trio that I'm going to assume, and I think it's a pretty good safe assumption, is that it's all gonna be paintball themed, okay? I wouldn't even be surprised at all if we saw some sort of like squid type brawler in the future that's like heavily based off of the Inklings from Splatoon. Like, that just makes so much sense to me. Now, Otis is very interesting. There's a lot of things we still don't know about him, and he could either be like, super strong, or he could be kind of weak depending on how things work out. He's got 5,700 HP at max level, which is just as much as Shelly and Mortis and Lola and Sandy. Now, that's not like the most HP in the game, but it's actually kind of a lot if you compare him to like other long range brawlers. Now, I measured his range to be about 9 tiles long, which is it's the same as length as like Colette's and Bo's as well as Meg's attacks can reach, but it might actually be just a little bit longer, and I'll let you guys know once I can actually measure it. Once again, this isn't the longest range in the game, but it's long enough to outrange quite a few brawlers in the game. But I still think Otis is going to be very effective at long range because his projectiles do spread out a bit further as they travel. This means that you probably won't hit all 3 projectiles at max range, but he'll probably at least hit one of them, which will make him easier to use than a lot of the other long range brawlers. If you think about it, it's kind of like Tick. Tick's individual mines don't do a lot of damage, but he can consistently hit his shots, which is what makes him so easy to use and so annoying to face. Now, with all that said, I think that his damage is actually going to be pretty solid at medium distance, where like all 3 projectiles are likely to hit. Each projectile does 690 damage for a total of 2,070 damage per full ammo. Now, that's the same amount of damage that Terra can do with 1 full ammo, which like shows you how strong it is. It's also really comparable to like what Lou and Eve can do if all of their projectiles hit with 1 individual ammo. So yeah, Otis has a lot of potential to deal a fair amount of damage. Now, I couldn't tell exactly how quickly Otis's unload and reload speeds are in the clips, but it does look like he has about a medium reload speed. So, I mean, it's faster than Eve's at least. So I think he's gonna be pretty comparable. And the amount of damage that he can do with his attack is really good because his super can't do any damage at all, but it could still be really strong. Enemies who get hit by his super won't be able to attack or activate any abilities for 3.5 seconds. This includes their gadget, their super, their attacks. It might even be able to stop passive abilities like star powers. We don't know this for sure, but like imagine if all of a sudden Bo with his circling eagle, he has like the extended range with his sight, and then he gets hit by Otis's super and all of a sudden he can't see very far in bushes. Like, that would be really interesting. We don't know if that's exactly going to happen or not though. We also don't know what's going to happen if like Leon uses his super, he goes invisible, and then he gets hit by Otis's super. And does that mean that like Leon's all of a sudden going to become visible, or will he lose that invisibility? We don't know. We also don't know if it's going to prevent turrets or spawns from attacking. I think there's a fair chance that it will because there are brawlers that can stun turrets, and that does prevent them from attacking. We also don't know what his gadgets are, and we don't know what his star powers are. I looked through the entire footage and I could not see any sign of a star power. These are all things that I'm going to be answering in an Otis Olympics sneak peek video. So if I haven't already, I've told you to subscribe, right? Yeah. We're getting to 1 million subscribers by the end of this year. Will you be there? Now, there are a lot of unknowns with Otis's super, and so I'm not 100% sure how strong it's going to be. Now, the only brawlers in the game that have a similar super are brawlers that can actually stun enemies. That's like Frank or Bo with the right star power, and both of their stuns last for 2 seconds, while Otis's super prevents enemies from attacking for 3.5 seconds. Almost twice as long, but during that time, they can run away and hide, which means that even though they can't attack for a longer period of time, they're still not nearly as dangerous. And that brings up a really important question. Will enemies be able to reload while they are affected by Otis's super? And will they start healing if they don't take damage? Now, if they can reload and heal, I think that Otis's star power isn't going to be very good, except for some situations where enemies like overextend themselves. Like, imagine an Edgar who jumps onto you, you use Otis's super, he can't attack, he's just right next to you and you can take him out. But if enemies like Piper can reload and heal, she can just fall back and use those 3.5 3.5 seconds to reload her ammo and heal up, which is gonna like, it's not gonna set her back very much, right? Now here's what I think his super is going to do. I think the enemies won't be able to reload during those 3.5 seconds, but they will be able to heal up. I'm not sure, I just have a hard time imagining Supercell making it so that they couldn't heal, because that's like so fundamental to how brawlers work. However, there are abilities that do prevent brawlers from healing for a certain period of time. Either way, I'll answer all of these questions in a future Otis sneak peek. Now, Otis isn't the only new brawler that we're getting, kind of. Penny is basically a brand new brawler. We'll start off by talking about her like actual appearance, and we'll talk about her stats, okay? She now has spikier hair. Everything about her is more polished, including her animations. You can even see her profile icon right here. Speaking of which, we also got an early look at Otis's icon right here, which we don't always get in Brawl Talk. But when I say she's a brand new brawler, I'm not just talking about appearance. Penny's attack and super damage are the same, but almost everything else is different, okay? First of all, her range is being reduced by about 2 whole tiles. So that's a lot more similar to like Emz's or Poco's attack range, or around 7 tiles. But to make up for it, her projectile speed and the width of her attacks have actually increased a little bit, making it way easier for her to hit her shots. I honestly would not be surprised if it's almost like super easy to auto aim almost all of her shots now, which is like really crazy to think about it. We'll have to compare that in a future sneak peek video though. Also, her coins will still splash out if they hit a target, but rather than splitting into just 3 pieces, they now split into 5, which means that she has insane burst potential in the right situation if you have like a spawn and somebody really close to that spawn. Now, since she is more of a medium range brawler now, she also got a 12% buff to her HP. It's going from 5,100 HP at max level to 5,700, which is that's a big buff, guys. That is massive. She also got some changes to her super. I can't confirm this for sure, but it seems like it also has a shorter range while also firing a little bit faster. That could be wrong, we'll find out. But it will now show a damage circle on the ground, which will notify enemies where the cannonballs will hit. And to make up for this, her cannonballs will now leave fire on the ground, whether or not she actually has a star power at all. Now, Penny can use this to better predict where enemies will move, since they will be able to tell where the cannonball's going. And honestly, I think this is actually a pretty good change for her. Now, additionally, Penny is now getting a new gadget, which allows her to place a barrel that has 2,000 health in her location. As we have learned with like other gadgets like spikes, that is a lot of HP, but Penny can also use it to spread her shots by attacking it, which means that Penny will now actually have like insane defense against close range brawlers who like might jump close to her. She places down that barrel and then she attacks it, deals tons of damage. Like it's actually kind of insane. Keep in mind though that every time she does attack the barrel, it takes 100 damage, so she can't do this an infinite amount of times. Also, we don't know what star power is replacing balls of fire or which gadget is being replaced by her new barrel, but honestly, like they're completely reworking her from the ground up. I wouldn't be surprised if her old star powers and gadgets are just completely scrapped and replaced with new ones. I will be covering everything you need to know about Penny in a future sneak peek, but I will say I think she's going to be much stronger with all these changes, okay? Depending on how far her turret can attack and what they do with her star powers and gadgets, I could see Penny being very competitive. I don't know if she's going to be the best brawler in the game, but I really don't think she's going to be the worst either. Then again, my predictions have been wrong in the past, like twice. Like that's it. Maybe only twice. Clubs are getting big improvements with the introduction of club games. Club League is now going to happen every other week, and on the off weeks, we will have club quests. It looks like club quests are just like regular quests, except that instead of getting tokens for completing them, you get progress toward club games. Now the progress is shared across all of your club mates, and at the end of the week, everyone gets a certain amount of club coins depending on how well you did. Now this 75 club coin reward looks like it's like really terrible, and it is, but this is actually in bronze 1, which means that this is the same as getting 4th place in bronze 1. We can only assume that from that point on, the max club coin is going to be like the equivalent of hitting rank 4 in whichever rank your club currently is. So if you're in legendary, we're looking at a maximum of like 800 club coins, which is actually pretty awesome. Now you're probably wondering how hard it's going to be for you to actually reach those max rewards in club games. To reach max rewards, you will need 2,000 2,500 points, which comes down to an average of 83 points per person in your club, a club of 30 people. Here we can actually see 3 quests, but we don't know how many points the third one is worth. I'm gonna assume that the third one is either worth 40 or 50 points, which means that unless quests can unless you complete a quest and it gets replaced by another one and you can just do as many quests as you possibly want throughout the entire week, then pretty much everybody in the club is going to have to complete all their club quests if your club is going to reach max rewards. The really nice thing though is that you have a whole week to complete these quests, and you'll actually complete your quest twice as fast if you play with at least one additional club member. On top of that, they also said they'd be buffing the amount of club coins that we will be getting from Club League. So I don't know how much that's going to be, but overall this means that clubs will progress slower to higher leagues. You'll actually reach higher leagues slower, but there should be a lot less burnout in Club League. Well, hopefully we'll be getting even more Club League coins, and overall I think that clubs will just be better than they were before this update, okay? I do still really wish that there was some way for a few members each week in your club to just opt out without it actually negatively impacting the entire club. I still think that's a little bit of an issue, but this is definitely a big step in the right direction, and Supercell has plenty of time in order to make that kind of an improvement. Power League is also getting a nice quality of life update. You're now going to be able to suggest a brawler in Power League. I believe that all you have to do is just tap on a player, and then you'll be able to see which brawlers they have along with their power level, so that you can then tap a brawler to suggest it. They will then be notified of the suggestion and be able to choose them if they would like to. You don't actually have to scroll all the way over to it. There's a little icon that pops up. You could probably just tap that and it'll bring you right to the suggestion, which is awesome. I am way excited to see this in action, and I think it's going to make Power League just so much more enjoyable when you're playing with players that might not actually know which brawlers are the best to play with, or maybe you're not sure which brawler you want to play with and somebody can suggest it to you. I think it's just going to make it better overall. Supercell listened to our feedback and has reduced the cost of sprays. Brawler sprays are going down to 19 gems and player sprays are going down to 29 gems, and this is about a 50% decrease in cost overall, which is much more reasonable in my opinion. The good news is that if you've already purchased any of these sprays, you'll be refunded in gems, which you really got to give props to Supercell for doing. I know that people would have been upset if they hadn't done that, but a lot of companies will just not do it, and then afterwards they'll be like, oh sorry, here's your refund, kind of a thing. Like props to Supercell for thinking ahead on that. We're getting a new 10-player game mode called Hunters. It's kind of like a combination of Wipeout and Showdown, and it looks like once someone gets 6 kills, the match ends and you get placed depending on how many kills you got. Obviously, if you got the 6 kills, then you get first. And if you didn't, well, it's gonna depend on how many kills everybody got. If you die, you just respawn, and there's a good chance that there will be a fair amount of kill stealing happening in this event, which it's probably not going to be the most balanced game mode, but it's fun, it's different, and I actually really like 10-man modes, even though they're not really very, very balanced. And you also have social stuff that happens with teaming and showdown and stuff like that, right? I'm really excited to try this one out. My hope is that they chose good spawn locations so that you actually are frequently finding other players, because that was one of the things, or one of the issues that I had with Lone Star, and this game mode seems to be the most like Lone Star, which was, for those of you guys that don't know, was a game mode that they tested out like 3 years ago. Strangely enough though, I'm actually more excited about this new mystery mode event slot that we're getting. This is a special event game mode where it's completely randomized. The game mode is randomized, the modifier is randomized. I know that this might not be that big of a deal, and it's just so easy to do, but I am so excited to take a brawler that I like and get thrown into a complete mess of a match where we're just I don't know, I'm really excited about it. There's just one thing Supercell could have done to make this even better, okay? And that is add a random brawler option so that everybody can just go in with random brawlers, or even a game mode that is all random, where the game mode, the modifier, and the brawler is completely random. It's just complete chaos. It's just, I don't know. It sounds really fun. I'm really excited about the potential for something like that in the future. The one question that I do have is whether or not it will be possible to push trophies in this mystery mode, but I have a feeling that it won't be, because it was listed under the special events, which I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now let's take a look at all the skins that are coming into this update, and I'm gonna make an estimated guess on how much they'll cost. First up is Otis. That was nicely done, Supercell. I like that. This is going to be the reward for reaching the end of the Brawl Pass, and then we have Shark-Tooth Colt, who will be the first tier reward of the Brawl Pass. Oh, this one looks really cool. I like this. Next time we have Coral Bell, who I'm gonna guess is gonna cost 149 gems. this is a cool looking skin. Belle is one of my favorite brawlers in the game. This will be like a second really weird one for Belle, which is interesting. Then we have Octofang, which I'm gonna guess is gonna cost 79 gems, although I will be doing a skin giveaway in a future sneak peek, so subscribe for that. Then we have Postal Brock, who will most likely cost 25,000 star points after you've actually won enough matches in Power League. And like this skin, this is hilarious. I love this skin. It's so random. Like, why did they do Postal Brock? Like, it makes no sense, but I can't wait to get this. I'm actually really excited to buy this one with star points. Now, sometime in August, we will get this Supercell Make Winner skin for DJ Ems, and this is such a cool skin, but I'm gonna guess that it's costing like 79 gems, since that's what most of Supercell Make skins cost. Next, we have a bunch of skins thanks to the BT21 partnership with Brawl Stars. These are based off of Line Friends campaigns with BTS, and I don't have a personal attachment to Line Friends or BTS, but even I think some of these skins are like, actually like they're really funny at least. I think Edgar Tata is gonna cost 79 gems. I think Ruff's Chimmy will also cost 79 gems. BBRJ, I would also guess will cost 79 gems. Then we have Sandy Koi, which like, come on. I think this is gonna cost 149 gems. This is so great. Then we have Jackie Kookie, who will likely cost 79 gems. And then Bull Mang, this is so funny. It's like it's like, is he even actually a horse? Like, it looks so weird, but it's so funny. I mean, this is a 149 gem skin cost. That's in my opinion. Then we have Tick Shooky, who's not that different from regular Tick, except that he's brown like a cookie. I'm gonna guess that's 49 gems. Now, all these gem costs are just estimated costs on my part, like based off of like my personal opinion of the skins, what kind of effects and changes were applied to the skins, and so take this with a grain of salt. I'm gonna cover all of their actual gem costs, their animations, their release dates, and other effects in future sneak peek. And that's everything that we know is coming to the game from Brawl Talk. If you haven't already subscribed for sneak peeks, make sure you do so right there. Don't forget to use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop and check out my Clash Mini and Free Fire channels. Oh, also there's a video right here that if you haven't seen, you should probably watch it right now. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.